Hello, friends, and welcome to the Weekend Catch-Up Club, the coffee morning show brought to you live every Saturday direct to Facebook and available later on demand at youtube.com/gamertag. Today, I am joined by a very special guest yet again. I keep pulling out these guests out of the bag for you guys, so we're having a lot of fun just chatting video games. Today, I am joined by Rebellion Games level designer Shax Wahid. Welcome, and thank you for joining me this day.
Oh, you're welcome. It's going to be good fun.
It should be a good laugh. How are you with lockdown and everything, the pandemic and stuff?
It's been interesting, hasn't it? I put on a load of weight. That's one thing. But I've got through a load of games. So that's really cool. Yeah, I think me and my partner just recently got like a PlayStation sort of annual stat thing. I think we've managed to clock over 1,000 hours of gaming, and that's just on the PlayStation. Never mind all the older consoles as well.
Yeah. So we'll put that down as research,
Yes,
for the industry. So as you know, it's work time, but we're doing research, boss. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you playing now?
At the moment we're playing Epic Mickey 2.
Oh, nice.
Split screen, which has been interesting. And we're getting through the recent Sam & Max episodes as well. So we got through the original. I've probably finished that maybe like over 10 times. I have to give it a good 3 years before I start it again.
Yeah.
And point and clicks like Day of the Tentacle. Got through all the Monkey Islands. Recently finished all the newer episodes too.
I'm noticing a LucasArts trend here, man.
Yep.
So you must be absolutely buzzing at Lucasfilm games coming back then.
Yep. But yeah, it's been really interesting. What else have we got through? We've got through all the Silent Hill, and I think we're currently halfway through Resident Evil 2. So.
Amazing. That is what a classic game that is. It makes me a little bit sad that PT never really came to anything, because it looked like it could have been like the Silent Hill resurgence, right? Like the coming back of that series. Anyway.
Would have been interesting to see what sort of twist Kojima would have put with it as well. So.
Totally, yeah. So for the benefit of our viewers, we obviously want to be talking about you this day. Obviously a talent at Rebellion Studios. Please give us the full introduction as to who you are, your position at Rebellion, the games of which you've been lucky enough to be a part of and work on.
So yeah, I started at Rebellion about 2.5 years ago, possibly. And I do level design there. I've recently worked on Zombie Army 4, which is still doing seasons.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I think we've been really good with sort of constantly giving out content as well. So, and I don't know if you heard recently about Evil Genius's 2 release date as well. So that's pretty cool. I didn't personally work on that.
Yep.
I'm just fully on Zombie Army 4 and Sniper Elite. What else? I previously worked at a studio called D3T, based in Runcorn as well, same place as where I'm at Rebellion. And I worked on Shenmue 1 and 2 there.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
fantastic.
That was the project. That was my first major project there. So I was there for about, I think, 2.5 years as well. And I previously studied at University of Bolton. I did a games design degree too. But yeah, I started off at D3T as QA, and then worked my way up to a lead QA. And then from there, I branched off into design and worked on, I don't know if I can still talk about it, it's on the NDA. But it was for an MMO. And then from then on, moved on to Rebellion.
Wow. So you've really got like a crazy amount of experience, and God, Shenmue, I can't even imagine what that must have been like, because now it is such a highly regarded, like coveted classic of a video game for the Dreamcast,
Yeah. I think we went through so many Dreamcasts. We had to constantly open them up, load of dust out, screw it back together again. I could probably do it blindfolded now.
Yeah. I recently picked up a Dreamcast on eBay, and I was lucky enough to find one in pretty near mint condition. And again, I've got the original Shenmue disc as well. I haven't played it, though. It's sitting there. I don't know if I want to open it though. It's like I just need to kind of keep it almost like this museum piece. It's like, yeah, there's Shenmue
Was
over
it
there.
sealed?
It's not sealed, but it looks like it's mint condition. And I worry that if I open the case up, it's just going to instantly turn to like dust or something like that, like some crazy like sarcophagus kind of thing, right? So
Brilliant.
I know. So yeah, so you started as a QA, doing that stuff for Shenmue, and then you moved over promotion and career advancement into Rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting because they actually told me they hadn't been looking for designers for like, I think 6-7 years in the Runcorn studio, and I just managed to catch it at the perfect time. I was like, in there.
Fantastic. So what was your first game that you worked on for Rebellion?
Zombie Army.
Ah, great series.
Yeah.
Great series. I was playing a little bit of Zombie Army 4 just the other day there, just trying to refresh my memory. It's like, oh yeah, this is awesome. So brilliant. So what kind of things specifically were you doing on Zombie Army? Like what's the process for kicking that like franchise off and like beginning work in production on it?
So it was sort of white box work, scripting, missions, objective setup, narrative, dialogue, everything. But I think the good thing about my role at Rebellion is we're dipping our fingers in all sorts of things. Like a lot of the times with level design roles, I think it's more so just a lot of white box and scripting. But with us, we're being able to sort of branch out into other disciplines as well. You know, sort of talking to audio, VFX team, animation, you know, we get to tell them what sort of animations we want and so on. And then the good thing about Rebellion as well is that we can, you know, whatever request we can go get mocapped as well. We've got everything in-house, which is really cool, but all our audio stuff is in-house.
Yeah, I mean, what a luxury that must be, right? I mean, there's so few studios, let alone indie studios, that have that level of resource, like in the building or close to the building, like that they can just say, oh yeah, let's just run down to the mocap and like motion capture somebody throwing like a can of Heinz beans at somebody to get that reaction and to capture that motion. It's wild.
Yeah, I think it's really been cool as well because even my own like lead level designer's been able to go and do mocap stuff as well. So it's just, yeah, it's really cool when, you know, you can go get your face scanned and you could be in the games, and it's just really cool. There's been times where I've sat here going, it'd be really cool to do this, and my lead would be like, yeah, why not? Let's try it. There's no harm in asking. And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's awesome.
That is
I don't think you get that freedom a lot. So
yeah.
It's something I sort of value at Rebellion.
So you're really getting to explore like all aspects of the production pipeline, right? You're like, it's not just you're sitting there, you've got like blueprints to map out like level design, scamps and things like that. You're really saying, okay, let's work with art, let's work with the motion capture teams and the sound teams as well, because they're all there, they all have their own studios and everything. And you're getting to really see and be a part of like every part of that production part.
Every single bit, definitely.
That's why. What's been your favorite part so far?
I think at the moment it's been white boxing and sort of working with my artists and just seeing everything come to life. And, you know, we're able to just chat and discuss it and be like, well, you know, it'd be cool if we could do this or do that. And like I said, we can put the ideas forward to leads and they'd be like, yeah, let's give it a go. So yeah, it's just been really cool. And just like sort of getting everything scripted up and just see it all working. And, you know, you made that by scratch, you know, you made that and it's just really cool. Yeah. So yeah.
It's phenomenal because every year that we've been fortunate enough to go to the Eurogamer Expo, which obviously been, you know, events and stuff have been cancelled for the past couple of years, and also like, they're going to be continually cancelled. I always remember like one of the standout booths has always been the Rebellion booth, and I think last year it was Zombie Army 4. Sorry, not last year. The previous year I was lucky enough to go to EGX. It was Zombie Army 4. And then I think the previous year on that was the Strange Brigade booth. And the booths, I mean, yes, compared to like the mega booths of like EA and PlayStation stuff, they're are a good kind of compact size, but they're always like really impressive. It really strikes me that Rebellion are this studio that really maximizes like what they can do with not just like the physical space of their booths, but that kind of ethos goes into the games as well. It's like, how do we really maximize like all the tech and all the expertise and abilities that we have in our disposal from our teams, and really almost like you're punching above into this kind of AAA space, but without these like thousands of developers and hundreds of millions to spend on these crazy productions. It's maintaining that indie status, but they always feel much bigger than what they actually are. And like the presentation has always been top notch. You know, the games actually work, unlike certain games which have come out recently, which maybe, are a little bit broken.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the good thing about Rebellion is, we've got 2000 AD, and every time I've gone to an event for Rebellion, we're always sort of being able to sell clothing and like merch and sort of have our games as well. And it was really cool because I was able to go to Zombie Army's Comic Con in London.
Wow.
And do tours as well in Milan and Paris. And we were able to take my level as well there. So that was really, really cool. Just seeing people play it before release.
Yeah.
It was mainly for the press and reviews and stuff too. But yeah, we've just got so many things we can just sort of pull out the bag really for Rebellion. We've sort of dipping our fingers all over the place. Even like our film studio as well. There was a trailer out recently for a new movie they've done.
Right. Okay.
And they're also sort of including sort of like Unreal as well for films too. I don't know if you've recently seen the trailer Jason Kingsley released that he was in. They used Unreal for that.
Oh wow, no, I haven't seen that. Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool stuff to see working.
That's crazy, right? Because I remember reading that like the Mandalorian was using Unreal Engine 4 or 5, I think it was, in the iteration of the game engine to do stuff, and then it's crazy that this game engine rendering tech is getting used in like full movie productions, and it's even more mind blowing that Rebellion has a film production studio, like because everybody only thinks of Rebellion as a games company. It's like no, they are massive.
Books as well, published books, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's everywhere. We just need to do music videos next.
Well, if you're going to do music videos, Shax, I hope that you'll get your motion capture studio for those Fortnite dance moves into the music video. You got to be motion capture yourself doing some like some mocap crazy dance moves.
Oh gosh, I think for the previous Zombie Army possibly did a Hitler video thing for Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Okay, wow.
I'll send you the link to it. It was interesting.
Oh, please do. That'd be amazing. Oh my goodness, wonderful. I mean, that is. I mean, you mentioned briefly about like 2000 AD. 2000 AD is a comic book series I absolutely adore, but I haven't been in that space for a number of years. It was really in my childhood that I loved like Judge Dredd, Mean Machine, all this crazy universe. And I keep occasionally, every so often, I'll just like at the Rebellion team. It's like, okay, so when's this Judge Dredd game coming out? When are we going to get like Mega City 1 open world game? Come on, I really want Mega City 1. That is a universe I would love to see Rebellion tackle, or just a partner with another studio. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I mean, to own 2000 AD, that is, to me, that is just crazy. Like it's like somebody owning Marvel, like Marvel Comics or something like that. It is wild.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much we can do. But yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So tell me a bit more about Zombie Army trilogy. Because obviously it was the first one. I'd love to get to understand like what you did specifically in that and how that all kind of comes about, from the very beginning. It's like, how long typically would a game like that take to come to fruition, and then like the rollout process for like beta testing and like user feedback and also the QA process as well.
So I only worked on Zombie Army 4, but the guys I worked with started on the first game. Which was interesting, really. I think they did it in a really short amount of time. I think it was mainly more of like a test to see how well it went, and it did extremely well. It was really impressive. But for my time on Zombie Army 4, it was more so sort of having a level layout, being able to choose how it joins onto the narrative from the previous levels and the ones after as well. And of course, we can have a bit of fun with this one because it's not so much like Sniper Elite where you have to sort of historically sort of stick to a story. It was just a bit more like slapstick, really. And then, yeah, God, I can't even think because there's just so much. Like, where do I start? It was basically just having to put the AI in, populating it, testing out balancing because it was 1 to 4 player. And then sort of testing wise, seeing how much strain it would put on consoles. Xbox.
Yeah.
Didn't go very well online. But yeah, like it's just been such a really interesting project to work on. And, you know, like sort of testing wise, each console gave out different results. And, you know, you're having to constantly tweak things around. And yeah, it's really cool. I think the most interesting part was sort of testing things out with my colleagues as well. So we'd all sort of sit down and sort of play each other's levels and sort of give each other feedback and so on and say, oh, this bit was too easy, this bit was too hard, or we could, you know, maybe do something a bit more interesting here, or we could change this around, or, you know, change this building around here and so on. So yeah, that was really, really cool to do. But yeah, it was basically just scripting everything to work, really.
Yeah.
Just getting it all in there and, you know, talking to art and code and QA. And it was interesting to be able to just sit down with QA and watch them play through your stuff as well.
Is there any like crazy hair pulling moments where you think like the signposting through a level is so clear and you think, what are you doing? Just go through the door. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, the thing with like Zombie Army is so many levels were dark, obviously to get sort of the grungy dark feeling. So, you know, we had to make sure everything was all clear and, you know, sort of laying things out right and having like light shining in the right places and so on. And we also had like marker points too, just to make it a bit more clearer where you need to go.
Yeah. Like neon flashing lights, basically.
Yes.
It's like go this way. please just go this way.
Yeah, no, I was kind of a bit sad coming off that project actually. I really enjoyed it.
No, that's a great sign of like the team like just jiving so well together, and you're having a blast making something that is like pulpy and fun and silly, and you're just having a blast doing it. You want to just kind of keep on going, and as you mentioned earlier, the like seasons are still ongoing. So can you talk maybe a little bit about like the season process, like how much planning do you need to kind of do beforehand, and then you're rolling out maybe like months in advance of the planning, you know, that kind of stuff. It's like how what does that process look like, and what, like, how much lead time do you actually like realistically get to have an idea for a season and then work on it and then roll it out based on like the expectation of players that are constantly wanting like engagement and fresher content like so fast and so constant?
Yeah, so I'm fully on another project at the moment now, so I'm not in any of the sort of season development anymore. But yeah, it's not even handled in the studio I work in at the moment either now in Runcorn. It's more so based in Oxford now.
Right.
So I not really got anything to talk about on that.
Fair enough. That's cool. So excuse me, are you allowed to talk a little bit about what you're working on just now, or is that kind of
it's
under the radar at the moment?
Elite, but yeah, totally under the radar.
Okay, that's cool. So Sniper Elite, again, a franchise I'm a huge fan of as well. To see how that franchise has grown from the original where it was into Sniper Elite 4, which is really like the pinnacle of where that series is at the moment. Seeing it come to Switch was just phenomenal. And then, of course, Sniper Elite VR, which I'm really curious about as well. Have you been able to work on the Sniper Elite series at all?
Not the VR one.
Not the VR one, okay.
No.
but the base game was outstanding. So please share any stuff about
that. So I think a lot of it, to be honest with you, I didn't even work on 4. I've just gone straight into Zombie Army 4 and then straight onto Sniper Elite sequel.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
We won't ask. We won't ask any other questions. That's cool. So working at Rebellion, it as an indie studio it strikes me as that it doesn't feel like an indie studio. So can you talk a little bit about the life culture and obviously like the opportunities like for starting out in the industry, like for people who want to get into video gaming, like the career progression opportunities at Rebellion seem to be like really impressive and what you can really like tap into and get experience of.
Yeah, definitely. The good thing about Rebellion is like it's all open plan, the office. So, you've got your artists, coders, QA all around you. And yeah, like I said, when you sort of mention about something you want to do, you want to add in to your level, you want to see if it's viable, you're able to go over to art and just ask him, and you can sit down and test things out. Or same with code as well. You ask him, is this possible? Which is really, really cool. Same goes for the animation team too. But progression wise, they're always open to you sort of being able to discuss your performance and seeing what other roles you'd be open to as well. How can I explain that?
So if you wanted to move into like another aspect of game development, then you could maybe mentor or intern in a different department. Like for your at the moment you're like your level design. So if you wanted to transition into whether it's like the UX side of it or the environment art side of it or the narrative side of it, you could maybe get shadowed or not shadowed but mentored with somebody there to then help you like develop skills in that aspect as well.
That's it. Yeah. So there's one level designer in the team that sort of takes charge of narrative as well, which is cool. And same with QA, they always have the opportunity to be able to sort of learn the engine we use. And there's been times where I've had sort of people like in QA come over and be able to sort of just teach them a few things as well, just some things like white boxing, getting things spawning in and so on. But if they ever wanted to go into their performance review and just say, I'm interested in design, like they try and make that happen. So
yeah,
that's really good.
That's really awesome because it's so encouraging to see, not just in the game industry but other industries as well, this learning mentality of creating a culture where not having a fear of asking for like how do you do this, can you show me how to do this, or what do you think of this. It's like really wanting to kind of experiment creatively and technically, and making sure that there's people there that are willing to like share their knowledge and uplift like people who are just interested. And creating that culture I think is so important for all industries really, especially the game industry, but especially any creative field as well, whether it's marketing or it's the design or it's the actual production side of it, like heavily technical stuff. Just having that support network of, hey, how do I do this, or can we share our pool of knowledge into uplifting and problem solving is so exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's just really welcome in there as well. I'm not saying because I just work there and want to make it sound great, but everyone's just genuinely really, really nice. And yeah, like you said earlier, you're able to just walk over to someone and just say, hey, how does this work? And they'll just happily show you. It's like, yeah, cool. And that's a good thing because there's times where you work in a studio with a role sort of, you're happy with, but you want to, start progressing. Everyone naturally wants to start progressing on. It's like with me being in QA, I wanted to be creative. I was dying to be creative every day. I needed to just sort of move on. But with Rebellion, at least you're able to stay within the same studio and have a possibility of being able to move into different position as well, which is just really cool.
Yeah, I mean, a huge part of the preconception of career progression is that you have to move studio, right? That's just part of career professional life. Is usually, okay, I really want to, like, if you wanted to be, okay, I want to be like the principal level designer or the principal art lead or whatever position that you want to move into. But the studio or the company, if it's any industry, they say, well, we just don't have a position open for that. And so if you want to progress in your career, you have to move. Like you have to could be fully relocating like location, or it could be moving company that is in the same vicinity as you are, if you're fortunate to be in a heavily like densely populated location where there are other companies there that can offer the same opportunities. So Rebellion fascinates me just because of what, like, everything that you're saying. Is like they have the book side, they have the comic book side, they have the film production side, the motion capture. So if anybody wanted to, was coming up and then wanted to move into, okay, I want to now deviate into like fully motion capture direction, then they can do that at the same studio. And that is just mind blowing that Rebellion has that success, that they can have all this stuff like all in house, and it offers their staff. And again, they care about their staff so much as well. Like, the well being of the staff is paramount to keep talent, right? To keep and really harness and nurture that talent across all aspects of their production line. It's brilliant to see.
Yeah, definitely. And, we've got multiple studios plopped around UK too. Like, I was lucky enough that one was in Runcorn, so I didn't have to sort of uproot myself and move. It was just where I sort of radius of where I lived anyway, so that was really good.
Yeah, I've been teasing the Rebellion account to say, because they have a Rebellion North, but it's not far enough north. I was hoping that would be like, oh, they're opening up a Scottish studio. Fantastic. But no, it's like Liverpool or something, or maybe a little bit further north than Liverpool.
The one I'm in is classed as Liverpool, but yeah, it's in Leeds, Wakefield.
Leeds, that's it. So it's like, okay, guys, you're gonna have to get like a Rockstar. Sorry, not a Rockstar. A Rebellion further north, like, or like extreme north or something like that.
North. Rebellion
north. Exactly.
We've had a few of those jokes already.
Like, how many North studios can you have? Like, North by Northwest, North by Northeast, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so one thing that we haven't really had a chance to talk much about is like developing a video game during a pandemic. Because we're all stuck at home. I can see the eye roll there. It's like, I just want it to be over, for Christ's sake. I'm sick of the pandemic. So it's been a full year, pretty much, of complete lockdown. Or I think we well, certainly up here, I think we were from like March. We were full lockdown, so almost a full year. What's that been like for like the team at Rebellion? Like, being able to, because you miss out on the office banter, right? You don't have the same camaraderie. So can you explain a little bit about that?
Been interesting. Put it that way. You know what? It's been okay. I'm just thankful we're all sort of safe and healthy and so on. Work's sort of, well, they've definitely tried to keep us safe. They've not forced us back in the office. We can go back in if we want to. I mean, a lot of the times, a few people have gone back in because either they're sort of feeling a little bit down at home and, they want to get back into that office banter and so on. Yeah. But obviously, you can't let everyone back in the office. Because you need to sort of keep the safety measurements and stuff. However, no, it's been all right. I think my main issue is not being able to just quickly turn around and ask someone something. That would take 2 seconds. I've got to write a full-on email, I'll be able to ask them. And so, I mean, it's not bad, but I sort of just miss that quick efficiency.
Yeah.
Everyone's busy doing their own thing. If I need to quickly just jump in and ask a quick question, it could take like a good hour or something for a response, which, everyone's busy, like I said. But it's been all right. It's been okay. I think a lot of the issue is sort of getting up out of bed, rolling out of bed, straight to your PC, and having your lunch here. And then literally, as you can see, the sofa's over there. So it's like, turn the PC off, go to the sofa. It's like you can't get away from that sort of work sort of divide. Mm-hmm. It's just...
Yeah, you miss out on like that, the commute time where there's a clear like wind down or wind up, like going to and from work. The headspace is really difficult at times, and it can be incredibly like emotionally taxing as well. And depression can easily set in for a lot of people. It's like, I'm just sick of these four walls. This is my home. This is not my office, but it is my office, and like, where's my home kind of thing. It really does like mess with you as well. So I applaud anybody that does whatever they have to do to find that balance and manages to kind of keep their spirits up. And I mean, just keeping the spirits up is a challenge enough, let alone being productive and delivering a video game under these circumstances.
Yeah, that's it. And Rebellion's been really good in that the case as well. You know, like I said, you're able to go in the office if you want to. You just need to let someone know so they can set up your desk and make sure everything's safe around you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not forcing you to go in either. So it's been good. And luckily enough, you know, I'm working with my partner besides me too. So it's still someone to talk to and sort of bounce ideas around with. And it's just easier having someone there. If I was on my own and not sure how I'd feel.
Yeah.
I probably would have gone back to the office, to be honest. But
yeah, I have a couple of colleagues who some of them live alone, so that's obviously been challenging for them as well. And then others are in like a flat share, so they're like clambering over each other trying to get office like desk space to be able to work, and that's a whole other challenge as well. It's like, oh my god, I just can't work like this. Get me into the office, please.
Yeah. It's been cool because Rebellion's also offered, you know, if you need new chairs or a work desk or anything you need, just ask them and they'll deliver it.
Yeah, and that's amazing to hear, like that level of support from a big company, but especially Rebellion as well. Again, such a jewel in the UK gaming scene that they really are like taking care of their staff. And again, as you said, they're not forcing anybody to come back into the office. They want to make sure that your well-being is paramount, and you know, keep on like you're delivering, which is amazing, but not at the detriment to like your own well-being and health, which is incredible to hear. It's incredibly encouraging, like a really strong message for the industry, I think, to hear that, you know what, we don't hear enough about the developers that take care of their employees. We always hear about the like quote unquote monster companies that are just like forcing their staff to crunch all the time. And I think it's really encouraging to hear these great stories of developers that are really going above and beyond to look after their staff, because you guys make the games, you know. Yeah. So that's like, you are the lifeblood of a company. So it's great to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, they've also been really good with holidays as well. They say, you know, make sure you take time off for your mental health. You know, it doesn't matter. Just take time off. It'll be okay. And, you know, that's just really reassuring to hear that. You know, my managers have been really, really cool. They're like, you know, you've not been using your holidays recently. You know, maybe you should take the next week off or so. And it's just really nice to sort of have that support.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's really great to hear as well. Because, I mean, it's you feel guilty, right? Like working from home, like taking a sick day or taking a holiday when you're working from home is like it feels like a dirty thing, like you shouldn't be taking a day's holiday because you're already at home, sort of thing. It's a weird feeling, but no, it's great to hear that they're actually saying, look, we're looking at your holiday list and you haven't taken anything. You should really take some time off. So it's really good to hear.
Definitely. And they've also let us sort of carry holidays over for the next few years too.
Yeah.
So they're not forcing you to take it either. You know, they've been really good that way. But whenever I take time off work, I don't know what to do because I'm at home. There's not really much to do. Well, like, do I go for a walk? You can
go to Boots, the chemist, right? And
yeah. Like today, I'm going to Boots. Like, it's my highlight of the day. And even them are a little bit anxious, like looking at everyone going, "Are you wearing a mask? Are you wearing a mask? Are you not wearing a mask?" And everyone's staring at me because I'm wearing a mask. God.
That rings so true. Yeah, I know. So we mentioned a little bit earlier about going to events and getting like gamers' feedback, like right there in the moment of showing off a new game and everything like that. Obviously, events are cancelled right now. So how does the, like, as a studio, not just as like you individually, but as a studio, how does that company then like promote their video game, get like hands-on time when you can't get hands-on time in person for like the run up to big things? Like, you know, E3 was all online last year. Again, I think same with Gamescom, that wasn't an in-person event. Obviously EGX was cancelled, it was a virtual thing. So what does that look like kind of going forward when you can't go to like an in-person event and have a big booth and like talk directly to the consumers that want to try out like the next Sniper Elite or the next Army trilogy or the next Army zombie game?
That's actually a really interesting question, because if I'm honest with you, I'm not sure. I'm not really in with the marketing team, but I mean, we've not got any sort of, well, I can't really discuss what we've got planned to release next, but I'm pretty sure they're probably coming up with a plan for that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it terrifies us as well, because we've had to do like virtual events, like webinars and conferences, which is all like this kind of thing. It's like somebody is controlling it, and you've got like the two cameras, and you're trying to deliver like a presentation or a speech or some kind of demo. Excuse me, like a product demo or something. Whereas normally the person that attends the event would get like to actually physically interact with the product, the like application themselves on a tablet or on a computer or whatever. Whereas now
Yeah.
you just kind of have to like walk them through it on screen, and it's obviously not the same. And I know there are
Sounds
technologies.
insane, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah, it doesn't feel the same. It's like seeing something and playing something is two drastically different
So
experiences.
different.
And it does fascinate me, like what it means long term for the industry when okay, we're going to have to like really change things up because there's a massive cost attached to putting up an event booth and getting people there, and
Yeah.
getting devs there to like talk about the game and like promote the game, but also troubleshoot the game if anything happens to the demo, that kind of stuff.
That's
So
it. That's interesting because when I went for the Zombie Army tour in Milan and Paris and Comic Con in London, it was cool because people who didn't really know the games we worked on still sort of queued up because either their partner was interested in it, and they don't really play games or such. They're just being dragged in. But it turns out in the end they actually really enjoyed it and said, "Oh, I'm happy to buy this and play co-op with my partner."
yeah,
And so like how do you sort of gain that interest of people who wouldn't originally be interested? Like how do you get their attention
yeah.
to actually buy it? You can't. It's a bit hard to do that online, isn't it? So
Totally, yeah. I mean, unless but even going back to like the old like downloadable demos, where you play your game, where you're giving like players like a vertical slice of like the mechanics, the setup, the like dropping them into give them this feel of like the game. Again, demos are really really difficult things to judge, and it's like okay, I played the demo. That's all I need from that game. I don't really feel like I need to play it now or buy it now. I've experienced enough that I am happy,
yeah,
or it gives you like the wrong impression of the game, and it's so challenging and so difficult.
I can't remember the last time I played a demo of anything.
It's so rare.
Is it still a
Exactly. Yeah.
thing now?
Occasionally you'll get some demos dropping. I think Monster Hunter Rise was the last demo I saw on the Switch, but again, it's so difficult to judge
Yeah,
because they could be like a really really old build of the game, and therefore it's not representative of like where the game is at. But they have to get a demo out, or it's like this crazy vertical slice, which is totally different to like the pacing and the narrative and the mechanics of
yeah,
again what the full game is going to give you as well. So I understand why developers just kind of don't really want to invest in demo time, but I wonder if that will maybe have to come back for like this virtual event like hole, which is going to need to be filled at some point because we don't have like the big games comms, the big E3s.
yeah.
I don't know. It's really fascinating to see where we're going to get to as an industry going forward. They will come back, I'm sure, but not all of them will. I wouldn't have thought. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's just having to adapt, isn't it?
I know.
Basically, we're all winging it.
We're making this up as we go along.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
None of us have been through this before. We're just winging it.
I know. So, it's exciting to hear. Again, I could listen to talk about Rebellion over like all day. I absolutely love Rebellion as a studio. I've got friends that work there as well, and it's just great to see them continually. Like whenever I hear of a headline coming out where a studio is having to close, I'm always like that bead of sweat getting wiped off my brow that Rebellion is nowhere near like having to worry about that, and that's so great to see because
Yeah.
it does at times it does feel like oh my god, like so many studios are closing because they've had one like less than commercial success where it wasn't at the fault of anybody really. Like the game was either good or the marketing just maybe didn't hit right, or like something just didn't click at that moment in time with an audience, and therefore nobody was
Yeah.
paying attention to it. It's like the Eye of Sauron where he's looking for Frodo, but it's just turned the wrong way, and nobody's looking at
Yeah,
the
that's
game
it.
at any given point, and you just kind of worry. It's like, oh my god, like the margin for success and like fully closing is so minute but Rebellion doesn't seem to really have that problem because they do such a great job of investing in like Sniper Elite and Evil Genius 2 and this broad palette of games that appeals to like a lot of different audiences, you know?
Yeah, we do have a very loyal fan base as well.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And, you know, the cool thing about us as well is that we have a Discord server for Rebellion, and we have that sort of fan base there where they can talk to us. And throughout the day, we'll just send a few messages or answer a few questions and just have a general chat. You know, it's nice. Them just ask, oh, how's your day going? And so on. And, you know, it's just, it's nice being able to just be in contact with the fans. And, you know, of course, you have people coming in and throwing their ideas forward and stuff. But, you know, we do note these suggestions down. Not to say we're definitely going to do it, but, you know, we do bear it in mind as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we definitely have that sort of immediate fan base of, you know, we're doing it for these guys as well, sort of thing.
I think that's super interesting as well, Shax, that you've raised that. It's like the rise of Discord in a time where you can't meet in person is kind of opening up other channels of communication where they become so vital and so valuable to get that, that immediate, I'm burping like crazy. I do apologize.
I was doing it before, don't worry. I was putting my microphone on mute sneakily so I could burp.
I know. Yeah, that immediate line of communication where you can talk like directly to your audience, whereas in person is totally missing. And I love to kind of see that as well. It can be difficult to moderate at times for sure, but it does kind of give the audience that feeling. It's like, oh, I can actually engage like with the developers or with the PR team, the social team, like whatever team is that's running it. And we can do like creative things to still get the game across and like talk about production, like production diaries, or like, hey, this new update's coming out and this is what's gonna be for you, and you know, this is what we're addressing. You've fed back all like some bugs or some issues or things you like, things you don't like, and we can talk, like have that kind of conversation, whereas you don't normally get to have that with like huge audiences, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. And Evil Genius 2, like some of the devs there, sort of wrote a blog as well and shared it, which is interesting to read. But no, yeah, it's been fun, really. Just being able to engage. And also another cool thing we've done is sort of being able to help out with students too. I think there was recently an event. In fact, I can't bloody remember the name of it. I was a part of it anyway. Where we could just drop into a Discord server and there's like a load of students and you're able to drop in and out of interviews with students, or being able to sort of review their portfolios as well.
Right.
As like sort of representing Rebellion. There was a few other studios there too representing themselves and whatnot, but it was sort of just nice that Rebellion was sort of supporting that for us to be able to go out and sort of, you know, chat to students and sort of guide them. It's not so much come work for Rebellion, but, you know, just sort of helping them get through, especially during the pandemic as well at the moment. You know, students are probably so confused right now during their studies.
Yeah, that's again really exciting to hear. It's like mentorship for potential new talent coming into the industry, but you're not, as you said, it's not a recruiting drive. It's just kind of offering advice and like steer of direction as to, okay, and advice on like portfolio or your CV, or like how the best way to maybe like stage an introduction to introduce yourself, and maybe just like get your foot in the door for like an internship or work experience or whatever that may look like.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned about the internship, because we've currently got an intern in level design, which has been sort of really nice to have. And it's good experience for her as well. I think she'll be returning back to uni at some point, but at least now she can go with that experience into her finishing years of uni, going, well, I know this is the process, that's the process, and so on. And she's got good connections as well now. But during the sort of me guiding students, you know, I've also made them aware, you know, we do offer internships and stuff too, which they probably didn't think about and now they know about, and they probably, you know, might look at other studios and see if they do internships too. But it's just showing them what's available right now. So
100%. So one valuable piece of advice you would offer to not just students wanting to get into the industry, but maybe people from one industry, like wanting to move into game dev, apart from like being a bit softer typing on your keyboard?
Yeah, I like a good flat keyboard.
You gotta look after your fingers. You need
You
those for
do,
coding, right?
definitely. Now my fingers are all sort of swollen up at the moment. I don't know what's going on. Probably was all the vigorous typing.
Yeah.
But what advice would I give? Secretly, I'd like to say don't go into game dev. But I don't know if my advice would still stick during the pandemic though. It'd be go out and do networking. Like, how do you say that now to people? You know, what's available online anymore. I used to do like game dev meetups. I used to organise it and get like everyone I know around together, go out for a meal. How do you do that now? You know, it's hard to sort of get hold of people's times to come online for a certain amount of, you know, an hour on this certain date. You know, how do you do it now? That would have been my sort of
It's difficult for
guidance.
sure. Yeah, because you can't just rock up at a venue.
That's it.
And do the networking like breakfasts or like a lunch or something like that. It has to be like a very like set, almost like structured event thing, which is like an online meeting kind of thing. And it's not the same, of course, you know, because so many conversations happen candidly at these networking events that are significantly like missing right now. And so that's really interesting as to, okay, how do we address that, and how do we capture that informal like chat, just like introductions and stuff, but you're in front of your camera, you've got a webcam, you need a microphone, you know,
Yeah.
you can't be in like a hoodie, your Pikachu hoodie with it over your head, and because you're typing comments and questions and stuff, you know, or maybe you can. I don't know.
And I know a lot of people I know don't even like being on webcam. They don't like having pictures taken of themselves. They don't like being on webcam. They get a little bit anxious about it, and you know, these things matter too. There was a Discord server I joined a while ago where a few game devs were on it. In fact, I say a few, loads of game devs were on it, but they were doing sort of the same process as speed dating, but not dating. So it's sort of getting a few people together on a call, having a chat for 10 minutes, and then swapping around with another set of devs. So you just kept going through the cycle of sort of getting to know each other and so on. And that was a really cool way of networking within a short amount of time as well. So that was good.
That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like that.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, you have 2 minutes, and then it would flip you to like a random other person that you have to talk to. That's kind of interesting, actually. I wonder if
and you've got each other's names, so you can just send them a message or something afterwards if you want to talk to them further. But yeah, no, that was a cool way of doing it. I think they did it every weekend as well.
That's cool.
I think they're still doing it, but yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, Shax, thank you very much for joining me this morning. This has been episode 27 of the Weekend Catch-Up Club. We could keep on talking and blethering and about absolute nonsense, but the one takeaway is that Rebellion Studios are an incredible studio. They are based in the UK. They have multiple studios throughout England and up to the north of England, right up to Wakefield. Not quite Scotland yet, but we're going to be keeping in touch on that just to see if there's going to be an expansion there. But if you love their games, and then of course check out and support Shax on Twitter. Obviously check out the Rebellion Twitter account as well. But for now, take care, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you on next week's episode of the Weekend Catch-Up Club next Saturday at 11 a.m. when I will have another special guest for you. Take care, and bye-bye.